Are you ready for an encore presentation of the Go Live Challenge? All right, let's do a little bit of a countdown, have a little fun music, shall we? I need to work on a longer countdown. I know somebody that's going to be able to help me with this. So stay tuned for some cool new countdown. I'm not even gonna, you know what? I'm not even going to tease it any more than that. I'm just gonna leave it there. This is the encore presentation of the Go Live Challenge. Now, I've had a number of you reach out and say, what does it mean? What does Encore Live mean? Okay, so we did the Go Live Challenge last week. And a number of you had things come up. There were a number of you got sick. Some of you had work conflicts. Some of you just couldn't get all of it in the time that you had. Some of you just don't prefer that kind of setup. So this is the first time I'm going to do it this way. We're going to go through all of the same content that was in the Go Live Challenge, but we're going to do it in a single session right here, right now. You are going to learn a little bit about hook, story, call to action, and you're going to learn all about how you connect with your viewers. I'm so excited. I hope you are excited to be here as well. Super fun. Here's what I will ask though. I'm going to ask for something up front. Since this is the first time I'm doing this in this style, in this format, I would love to know your feedback. So if you're somebody who likes giving feedback, all it would take is you can obviously comment in here, but I would love it if you would just message me and just give me some feedback on, do you like this format better? Does this work easier? Is it easier to get through it versus the way that we've done the challenges in the past? So your feedback will help me make decisions on what I do going forward, future sessions, etc. Okay. So the other thing that I want to say before we just dive right in is that while we are focused on the actual Go Live part of it, what I really want you to understand is that this is really more about how do you get started going live or embracing video. So everything you're going to learn here today is about video, not just going live. You can apply it to pre-recording videos for your courses. You can apply it to reels. You can apply it to webinars, workshops, all of those types of things. The framework is the same. You can even apply it to your social media content and even podcasts. So I really want you to think about this more as a presentation framework that you're learning. We're just going to talk about it inside this container, more about going live. So just know that those are interchangeable in there. All right. So what I said you were going to learn is a super simple 3-step process. And here's how that process goes: hook, story, call to action. Okay. Let me pull that up so you've got it. Hook, story, call to action. You can use this model easily for all of those things I just described, but usually it's when it's going to be a shorter version of it. As you start to get more complex and you're wanting to do longer lives or longer videos, you're going to have a few more components inside of that framework, which you can learn with me a number of different ways, and we will get to all of that. But first, I think I've already said but first twice. That's okay. If you are brand new to me, welcome. I'm so glad that you joined us in this Get on Camera Facebook group, and you probably got here because of the Go Live Challenge. So I'm super excited. I am a video and growth coach. So I help people get on video, get great on video, and really just grow their business through the power of video. That is what I do. And while I can teach cameras and webcams and lighting, in fact, I'm going to do a live later this month, and we'll talk about those things. That doesn't move the needle forward. What moves the needle forward faster is when you know what to talk about and how to talk about it, because that's when you start connecting to hearts and minds of your perfect person. And that is what we are focused on today. Before we get into this model, we are going to start. And by the way, for those of you that are with me live, if you are with me live, would you just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook? It'll prompt you to give it permission. That enables me to see your comments. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. Oh, everybody's already done it, so I don't even have to do it. But hold on here. I can bring comments on. And what you can see here, Dawn, awesome call out for Dawn. I can see Dawn's profile picture. I can see that it's Dawn's name. If you haven't given StreamYard that permission, it just says Facebook user, which is fine if you want to be anonymous, but why not get a little bit of visibility as well? So all you got to do is go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, give it permission, and then you'll be all set. Okay. All right, now that I have said that, let's first talk about how you connect with your audience. Okay. I want you to imagine, well, actually, let me say it this way. Have you ever heard the phrase, the eyes are the window to a person's soul? Have you heard that before? Maybe, maybe not. The goal behind that sentence is that the way in which we connect with people is through looking them in the eye. That's why you hear so many people talking about make eye contact when you are speaking or when you're in conversation, when you're talking to an employee or you're, coaching somebody or whatever it happens to be, you want to make eye contact. So how do you make eye contact on a video when there's no people? It's just you sitting here by yourself. There's no people. They're on the other end, but you can't look at them. It becomes really, really challenging. And what will happen is when you can make that eye contact with them, you got to imagine they're sitting at home. Let's just say they're sitting at home on their sofa. They got their phone in their hand and they're just scrolling. So from their perspective, it's just the two of you. So when you can make eye contact with them through this little device, oh my gosh, it makes a difference. They feel way more connected to you than without it. And I'm going to show you what that looks like if you've never experienced it. But now I'm going to warn you. Here's a warning. I'm going to ruin videos for you for life because now you're going to be seeing all of these videos on your feed, other people's videos. You're going to be like, oh yeah, they're not making eye contact. So I apologize for ruining it for you. All right. Okay. Here, I want to show you what it looks like first. Okay, so I have been making eye contact with you for how long have we been on? 7 minutes. I've been making eye contact with you. And how has it felt? Have you felt like I'm talking to you, like I'm right here in front of you? I'm in your home with you, in your living room with you, wherever you happen to be. But does it feel connected? Now, what I want to show you is what most people do. And this is the problem we're going to fix right here, right now. Okay. So I'm just going to reintroduce myself so you can see the difference. Okay. So eye contact is like this. Hi, I'm Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach, and I help you love and embrace video. Okay. I made eye contact. Now let me do it not making eye contact. Are you ready? Okay. Hi, everybody. It is so great to meet you and connect with you. My name is Jamie Hain, and I am a video and growth coach. Okay, right now, in this moment, how does it feel to you? Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at myself on camera. That's what I'm looking at. I'm making eye contact with the human that's in front of me, which is me on video. So, but how does it feel to you right now? Now, here's the deal. Your audience, unless you've been through my program, you're not going to know. They're not going to know she's not making eye contact. She's looking in the wrong spot. What they're going to think is, I don't know about her. I didn't connect with her. I didn't feel her in the same way. Or my mom used to say, are you picking up my vibe? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? The connection is missing. And the difference is where I, as the viewer, am looking. Okay, so let me pull up some questions here. All right, Dawn says, yep, I noticed this right away. The eye contact makes a difference. Absolutely. It feels more engaged. Yes, for sure. Okay, Dawn says, like you're ignoring that I'm right in front of you. That's how it feels, doesn't it? That's how they feel. Interesting perspective. Thank you for sharing that, Dawn. Okay, so what am I looking at as the person on video? I'm looking at the camera, not at my computer screen. So I lovingly refer to the camera as the black hole of death because it's an inanimate object. And it is really hard to be like totally engaged when I'm looking at an inanimate object. And that's what makes this eye contact thing so hard, because when I am looking at the screen at the computer, I'm seeing a human down there. And maybe I like myself and I think my hair looks cute. And so I'm watching that, or I'm checking this out, or whatever it is, but I'm looking at a person versus looking at who I'm supposed to be looking at. Ooh, big aha moment for you. Yes? Usually this is the point where everybody goes, what? Had no idea. Okay. Here's what happens when you go live or when you do a video. The very first thing that comes up is your face, and so it is natural for your brain to tell your eyeballs, no, 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 look there. That's a human. That's a person. You're supposed to be looking at them, not looking up here. That feels awkward. The awkwardness is for your viewer, though. So here are a couple of things that you can do. I love Post-it notes. I'm a big fan of Post-it notes. Get a Post-it note. Oh, get a marker. Okay, take that Post-it note. And what I want you to do is put an arrow on that Post-it note. Okay, we're going to do phone first. So if you are going live on your phone, you're going to take that Post-it note and you're going to line that arrow up with the camera lens. So this is an iPhone. The camera lens is the teeny tiny little dot right here. So I'm going to line up that arrow. This serves as a reminder of where I'm supposed to be looking. You can also use this Post-it note, double duty, notes, things that you want to talk about so that you stay on track right on your phone. It also covers your face so you aren't tempted to look at yourself. Okay, you got me? All right. Now, one Post-it note, if I'm using my computer, that's not probably going to cover enough. So what you can do is get out a sheet of paper, notebook paper, 8.5 by 11. Take this, put your notes on it, the things that you're going to cover, draw your arrow, and tape this over the video portion in front of you. You can, I often, will cut out like sections like this so I can see comments, or cut out the section where I can see the record button. But then this covers my own face and has all my notes on it. So I remember what to cover, I'm making great eye contact, and I'm not distracted. All right, couple more tips on this. This is still an inanimate object. Yes, still a piece of paper with an arrow. Really hard to have a real fun conversation with this little piece of paper and an arrow. So you got some other options, okay? Number one, same Post-it note, but instead, make it a smiley face. I know it seems ridiculous, but this might make you smile more than this. You got to play with it. If you don't like the Post-it note model or the Post-it note idea, cut out a picture of somebody that you maybe represents who you like to talk to. Your grandma, your spouse, your child, your dog, your best friend. Get a picture of somebody who you think looks like who your perfect person is. Cut out that picture, put that right there. So now you're just having a conversation with your best friend. You're just having a conversation with me. You're just having a conversation with grandma. It'll calm down some of your nerves, and that's a real person versus an inanimate object. One final tip on the Post-it notes, sticking to your phone. If they don't stick, two things are going on. Your phone is dirty. I don't know if you can see this. Look how dirty my phone is. Can you see that? It's from your finger oils, from your face oils. Post-it notes aren't going to stick because that oil is on your phone. Okay? So clean your phone. You're probably going to need to get some sort of chemical. Not to spray, get the little electronic wipes designed for it, okay? The other thing is, I know you aren't going to want to hear this, but the Post-it note brand, it's better stick. It sticks better. I have gone through the cheap Post-it notes because I'm telling you, I go through Post-it notes like you would not believe, but they don't stick as well. So get the Post-it note brand. You got me? Okay. Are there any questions about eye contact before we move on into the 3-step model? If you got questions, now's the perfect time to ask. I'm going to check comments and see if I see anything I want to answer or pull up. Nope. All right. I don't see any comments or questions, so we're going to keep moving forward. What I would tell you to do with this little piece is make sure that you practice this. And what I want you to understand is that it is hard at first, like anything. Give yourself some grace, have some patience with yourself. It's not easy. It is hard. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. At some point, you won't need the picture of your best friend. You won't need the Post-it notes. I still need the Post-it notes because I am distracted by myself. And I can't help myself. If I can see myself on screen, I'm always going to drift towards it. So it takes practice. Figure out what works for you, and you got this. I promise. Okay. I'm not seeing any more questions, so we're going to move on. Now we're going to get into this hook story call to action model. And I'm going to go through it in order But I want to caution you, you actually don't plan it in this same order. So the hook is the first words out of your mouth. It is what grabs the attention of your viewer and says, hey, you want to watch this video. Then you tell a story, which is what they've come for. This could be the content you're sharing. I would encourage you always to tell a story because stories are engaging and fun, and that's what keeps your viewer watching. So the hook grabs them. The story keeps them watching. It's what is the engaging part of what you're doing. And then your call to action is the action you want them to take. It is the so what of what I just did inside this video. Okay. Now we're going to break that down. We're going to talk about each one of them, but I wanted you to have kind of an overall plan and understanding of how hook, story, call to action works. Okay. You can absolutely replace story with content, with examples, with whatever you're doing. It is the meat or the bulk of what you're sharing. Okay. But I want to start with hooks. So let's go deeper into hooks. The example we're going to use today for the rest of today is we're going to focus on food because I'm a foodie. I love food. So I want you to think about it like this. When you go to a restaurant, or even if you're considering going to a restaurant, you look at photos of their food. You look for, oftentimes outside the restaurant, they have the menu posted there. You might go online and be like, okay, what food do they got? Why are you doing this? Why do we look for what's on the menu? How does the food look? Why do we want to know that before we go to the restaurant? Think about that. Let me go back to comments here. Any thoughts? Why do we do that? Why do we want to see that food or see that menu prior to going and eating at that restaurant? What are your thoughts on this? This is the part of the training today where you type and you engage with me. Just in case you hadn't picked up on that from me in other previous videos. I like to hear from you. I like to pull in what you are saying and what you are thinking. Okay. By the way, I love this, Stephanie Lee. It becomes kind of fun to look at the black hole of death. It kind of does. It's a habit you get into. Absolutely, for sure. Okay. So Christy says, so you can see yourselves eating that. You imagine that, right? You now want to eat that. Oh my gosh, that sounds yummy. Oh my gosh, that looks fantastic. That's what I'm going to order. You get excited about it, right? She also says you can imagine being there. Yeah, you go and look at the photos of the restaurant. Of course. Ooh, where do I want to sit? Is this a place? Is this the vibe that I want? You're checking it out. Okay, somebody else says it's the anticipation of what is to come. Yes. Sometimes I know I every once in a while, I'm a picky eater, and my husband will say, you want to go eat at whatever place. And I'll be like, hold on. And I Google it up and I look at the menu first because I'm deciding, am I going to be able to eat something there? Or am I going to be too picky and I can't do this? Okay. What it's doing here. Yeah. Dawn says to see what sounds delicious. What am I wanting to eat? Sherry wants to now go to lunch. Me too. Okay. You are building anticipation. Those menus, those photos are getting your attention and they're helping you decide, do I want to eat there? Or what do I want to eat? A hook in your video does the same thing for your audience. It helps them assess, do I want to watch this video? Is this video for me? Am I going to be able to get value out of this video? What is going on here? Do I want to give you the time to watch the video? So if the video is 10 minutes long or 5 minutes long, it's the little sneak peek at what is to come. That is the purpose of a hook. Now, how do you do it? There are lots of different ways that you can hook. I like to think of a fish hook, your audience and grab their attention. In fact, inside of either of my programs, whether you join me for the Go Live League membership or you do the group coaching program, which is called Shine on Camera, you're going to learn 20 different ways to hook. But today, you're going to learn my favorite. It is also the easiest and arguably the most effective. And that is ask a question. Start your video, first words out of your mouth, ask a question of your viewer. Now, bonus, if you also encourage them to respond to that question. Oftentimes we get caught up in, we'll just ask a question and then we just move right into the content. But the way that the algorithm works, if you can get them to type, the answer to that question, two things happen. The algorithm goes, oh, people like this video. I'm going to show it to more people. So you get a benefit there. But here's what it does for them. They're now more engaged. They're now more connected to you. They're now saying, yes, this is for me. I want this. And they're putting it in writing, which almost seals the deal for you. Okay. So sometimes you got to encourage that a little bit. You have to say, like I just did a minute ago, come on, you all. I want to hear from you. I want to pull in your comments. I want to know what you think. Get your fingers out, get to typing. You got to do a little bit of that encouragement, but use the question as engagement, not just rhetorical. Okay. Now, how do you figure out what question to ask? This is the fun part. This is where you get super creative. What I want you to think about is it like this. The story that you're telling is the answer to that question. So ask a question that makes your audience go, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I want this. And now the whole meat, the ooey gooey yumminess of your video is the answer or the solution to the question that you had them consider. That's when the magic happens, because they're going, oh yeah, that's me. Oh yeah, I want this. And now they got all of the information that they need to answer the question that they have. Now, whether the question is about their challenge or their problems or their pain points, you can go there if that feels comfortable for you and that's something that you talk about in your business. You can also just talk to the solution about, do you want this solution? Do you want this thing? And then you talk more about it. You're following me so far on the question? If you have questions, ask. That's the value of me doing this live, is so that as I talk about things, you can ask questions and I can help you get there. Okay. I'm going to teach you something that I like to call POW bubbles. Okay. POW bubbles is a super creative way to think and plan your stories and your hooks. Okay. If you are a very linear thinker, this is probably not the method for you. Okay. If you are a very linear thinker, then you probably just want to make lists. But if you are creative, then this is a fun way to do this. All right. So I want you to grab some paper, markers, and what I want you to imagine is a circle in the middle. And then you're going to POW bubble off of that circle in the middle. Now, ideally, you can put multiples of these on a page and you can just go to town brainstorming. Okay. So the center of the circle, I like to switch color markers. It is the teacher in me. I cannot help myself. Okay. So the center of the circles are the stories that you could tell. The POW bubbles out here are the hooks that you could ask that lead you to tell that story. All right. So let me show you. I'm going to use this because you can see this easier, but let me show you what it might look like as you're actually brainstorming. Okay. So you might actually have something that looks like this. Hold on. I got to draw. I should have had these drawn in the... Oh my gosh, I'm really making a mess here. Okay. Okay. So let's say you want to tell a story or you want to do a video. What you're going to say is, okay, what are different stories that I could tell about whatever it is? So this is story number 1. This is story number 2. This is story number 3. This is story number 4 that I could tell. And then I can brainstorm what are the different hooks that I could tell that lead me to tell that story. Now, what's super cool about this is count these up. If you do 4 stories and you've got 3 different hooks to those 4 stories, by my math, that's 12 different videos you could do, or 12 pieces of content that you can do all around the same single subject. So what I like to tell people is anything that you see, anything that you are regularly posting on social media can all become content for a live or a video just by adding a story, just by using this POW bubble, or do it as a list if you like to be very analytical, so to speak. Okay. So let's just do one together so that you can see what this looks like. So the example I told you is we're going to use this restaurant food example. Okay. So I didn't think this through before I picked this topic, but let's assume I am a really good cook. I am not, but let's assume that that is the case. Maybe I'm a personal chef. All right. And so my business is I'm wanting to get more people to know about my services. Maybe I can be personal chef. Like if you're a millionaire, I can come and like come every day and cook for you. But maybe there are certain specific times where you might want to hire a personal chef. Maybe you're doing a party. Maybe you want to send a personal chef to somebody who is recovering from surgery. Maybe you got all sorts of different options, right? Those all become different stories I can tell in different lives that I want to do. You following me? All right. So let's just take this one. Let's just say, let's see, which one do we want to do here? I feel like let's pick up I want to send to a friend. Send to a friend. They just had surgery. Okay. I want to do a video, and that's what I want to talk about. That's the story I want to tell. Now, the actual story I want to tell might be my own story. It could be a specific client story. It could be a made up story. It could be a story for it. The story can be whatever you want it to be. But if this is the story I want to tell, this is the piece of content I want to cover, what are some questions I could ask that allow me to use this as the answer to the question that they might have? Okay. So you all help me with this. I'll give you the first one, but I want you to be thinking, again, you're going to comment and engage. The more you are active with me, the easier this is going to be for you to get as a concept. Okay. So I want to talk about, if you have a friend who's recovering for surgery, hire them a personal chef for 2 days or 3 days or a week or whatever else. And I want to tell that story. What is a question I could ask that would make them totally resonate and totally connect with it in order for me to tell this story? Okay. So the easy one is, have you ever, right? So have you ever had a friend who had surgery and you wanted to do something to help them, but you weren't sure what? Well, guess what? I got a solution for you. See how that works? Okay. What's another question you could ask? I'm going to look at comments, see if you guys can get this. Christy, I see your question. I'll come back and answer it. What other questions could I ask that would lead me to talk about this? Okay. And maybe we want to go completely off topic. Maybe we don't want to talk about, have you ever had this, but we want to say, let me think here. How would I do this? If you could have, and then you elaborate there. If you could have somebody come and cook for you, what would you want them to cook? Well, guess what? And then I can lead into this. Okay, now you guys are bringing up some good ones here. I love it. Do you have a recommendation for? Okay. Do you have a friend with special dietary needs? Yes, yes, yes. Do you have a friend coming up with a birthday, something special, an anniversary, and you're not sure what to get them? Do you have a friend that loves food as much as you do? All of these can become questions. And what's cool is you're brainstorming multiple different questions. They all lead you to tell the same story. Now you got multiple content. Pretty awesome, right? Okay. That is a hook. That's how you plan a hook. I probably picked a challenging subject. That's okay. We start hard, and then when you do it for your own space, it's easier. That's how this works. All right, let me go to some of your questions. So Christy asked, where was it? Hold on. I know I'm not making eye contact because I'm looking at your questions here. Where do you post these videos for people to see? Okay. Where are you posting content today? So if you are focused on your personal profile, if you have a business page, if you have a Facebook group, if you're on Instagram, if you are doing stories or reels, any of those, you can put videos in there. I think what often happens is we think in our head that video is this big thing. It doesn't have to be that big. What I would rather you look at it is it's just another type of social media post. So you're currently posting graphics and photos and memes and text and color blocks and all of these different things. Just add video into that rotation and post those videos in the same places you are posting all of those other things. Hope that answers your question, Christy. If not, ask me, comment again or message me and I'll answer it afterwards. Okay. Christy says, I have a Facebook group, but I'm trying to get more people in. So I need to post other places to get them into my group. Okay. Christy, this is a great comment. And we are going to be doing a couple of sessions in February talking about some of these exact things. How do I grow my group? What are ways that I can grow my group? So I will make a note and I will make sure that you have that calendar. I'm getting ready to put the calendars out for the Go Live League, which I know, Christy, you're part of, and for the Get on Camera group. So I'll get both of those out. Just watch for that. We're going to dive into this. In fact, I think let me look at my calendar. The 22nd, Thursday, the 22nd, my live, which is at this same time, will all be around 5 different ways that you can grow your group. And we're going to talk specifically about this. Now, can you post video in other people's groups? It depends. Every group is a little bit different. Some groups allow for that. Other groups have it blocked and you can't, or they have it only on certain days, or you have to do it in sort of certain threads. And so it all gets a little bit, it's all dependent on what you're talking about. But if you want to create a little video and post it in one of those promotional posts, you can do that. They just, in that case, they're like 20 seconds. That's all you get. If you're part of a group that allows you to post videos or go live, then you should be able to talk for as long as you want. Just check the rules of that group so you understand. Make sense? I hope so. Okay. All right. That was hook. Any questions on hooks? Let me know if you got them, and I will address them. We also talked a little bit about stories in there. So I want to move into stories. We won't spend a whole lot of time on stories. I want to be very conscious of time as well. I'm trying to get through all of this in about 45 minutes, depending on how many questions you guys have. Here's a little quick tip on stories. I'm going to assume that you already tell stories in your life. You tell stories to your family, to your friends. Storytelling is something that you do. So it's the same. You're just doing it on video and you're talking to your people. Where we often get hung up is we think, these are strangers. I don't know these people. What if, and we get in our own head. So it goes back to that photo of your best friend or a person who looks like your ideal client. And what I want you to think about when you're telling stories is you're just telling stories to that person. That's it. You're not talking to thousands of people. You're talking to that one person. When you focus on that, you're going to feel less pressure. And your viewer is going to feel like you're only talking to them because, in essence, you are. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, stories that have a little bit of drama work best. Why? Why would a story with some drama work best? Think about where else you engage with stories. Where do you consume stories? Forget about trainings and videos and work. But in your life, where are you engaging with and getting stories? I'm going to pause here because I'm going to wait for you all to comment. There's a little bit of a delay, I believe. And that's okay. Sometimes I go live in StreamYard and stream into Facebook. And so sometimes there's always a little bit of delay. Okay. Dawn says, yep, the key is to speak to just one person. That's exactly right. Your perfect person. If you speak to that perfect person, your message is going to resonate far better than if you're trying to talk to a group of people. So a little quick tip in there, instead of saying, hey, you all, or all you guys, or them, or they, it's always you. Talk to a singular person. They're going to feel that much better. I promise. Okay. Okay. Dawn says family members. Yeah. You get stories from your family members. At the end of the day, you're hearing about how their day went, what their day went. Absolutely. Other places that you're going to get stories, TV, books, movies, podcasts, you name it. They're all stories, right? What makes us want to binge watch those stories? What makes us want to hear from our families in those stories? They entertain us, right? And there is often a little bit of drama. There's often a little bit of drama. And I don't mean like drama. I mean an obstacle faced with a resolution. And if you can tell stories that have a little bit of an obstacle, what happens is your viewer is rooting for you. They're rooting for that story. They're getting behind it. They're feeling it. Just keep in mind, you don't have to win at that obstacle. You don't have to succeed or achieve that obstacle in order to learn something. We learn oftentimes by mistakes. So videos where we tell a story and maybe we're vulnerable, or we talk about a failure and how we turned it around, can often be more powerful because we often learn best in those kinds of situations. Okay, so little bitty storytelling tips for those of you that didn't ask, but I'm giving it to you anyway. Okay, Dawn says, oh my gosh, when I begin my videos, I say, hi, everybody. Okay, that one, that's probably okay, Dawn. I wouldn't coach you and say, I want to completely change what you're saying. But you could just say, hey, how you doing? Same kind of effect, but you're not talking to the masses. You're talking to one single person. But hey, everybody, what's up? I think that's okay. I wouldn't worry too much about that, Dawn. Where I think it becomes more important is when you are doing things like, okay, your call to action. Boy, isn't this a great segue into call to action? When you're doing call to action, you're like, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go live and I want you to practice this. That's more powerful than saying, okay, everybody, I want all of you to do this, but I want you to do it. It feels more targeted. That's where it's more important to get to the you versus they. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? But here's what I would say more than that, Dawn. The hook should be the first words out of your mouth. And I know Dawn's going to be joining the Go Live League, and she's going to be going through some modules. We're going to spend more time on this and why this is important. But what can happen, and I'm sure you've all been on calls like this or videos like this, where the person goes on for like 10 minutes, it's saying hi to everybody, and it becomes like this personal catch up, and you're like, no, I'm here for content. And you're just chatting with everybody. So be really careful of that, everybody. A little bit like what Dawn's saying here is fine. Hey, everybody, how you doing? And then go right into your hook. If you can get comfortable just going right into the hook, it's going to be way more powerful for the people who are watching that replay. Okay. If you guys want to talk more about that, we can come back and I'll answer any more questions. Oh, yay. Dawn joined the Go Live League this morning. Yay! So exciting. Okay. Everybody's loving it. Yeah, exactly. There is somebody that I follow and I love this person. She's a great coach and I love watching her videos, but I purposely join 10 minutes late every time. So if she says she's going live at noon, I show up at 12:10 because it just drives me crazy. I can't even. Okay. Any questions about hooks or stories before we go into call to action? If you got them, drop them. Okay. Let me look at my notes, see if I've missed anything. Nope. All right. So here's what happens with the call to action. Here's what I want you to think about from a mindset perspective. You've just delivered gold, right? Mic drop moments, mind-blowing moments, whatever you're wanting to say, some version of, oh my gosh, to your viewers. You hook them in, you grab their attention, you said, you need this. I am talking to you. I know what I'm talking about. You are now connected. You want this piece of content. Now I've shared that content. I've told stories. So you're engaged. You're rooting for me. And all along you're going, yes, this is me. Yes, she's talking to me. Yes, I want this content. Yes. And then what do you do at the end? You go, bye. Thanks. No more. Instead, you're going to have a call to action. If this feels awkward to you, I want you to really consider this. Let's say your video was 10 minutes long. You spent 9 minutes giving. All I'm asking you to do is take 30 seconds and ask for something. You've earned it. I promise you have earned it. If you are producing valuable content that your viewers want, they're not going to care if you take 30 seconds. In fact, it will help them. I want you to think about your call to action as the so what. We just covered all of this awesome stuff. So what? We just covered all of this awesome stuff. Now what? What is my next step? What do I do next? What is my homework? Those all can be calls to action. Is it calls to action or call to actions? I don't know which way that goes. Who's the grammar police in our bunch? Here's what I want you to understand though. In a single video, you get one. Okay? You get one hook, one story, one call to action. The reason that I'm telling you to do that is that it focuses your viewer. When you create confusion by asking a whole bunch of stuff, they go, I don't know what to do. Let me give you an example. I'm going to show you an example on a hook. I'm going to show you an example on a call to action. So let's say this same video, actually, let me just go generic because I was going to go to the chef thing and I can't think fast enough to come up with a good hook there. So let's say I'm going to start my hook and I'm going to ask you all, we could have some fun. I'm good on time. I'm good on time. Let's have a little bit of fun here. And by the way, if anybody has to go, because this is getting longer than you anticipated, it'll be here for replay. If you need the link, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Okay. So let's say I'm starting the hook and I'm going to ask you the question about, do you have a friend that you want to send them something nice on? Okay. And then I'm going to get into my story about, hey, hire them a personal chef. This is what I do. And let's say that's my message. If instead of just doing that, instead of me starting the hook and saying, hey, do you have a friend that maybe has a birthday coming up or an anniversary coming up and you want to do something nice for them? Okay. Guess what you can do? Let me tell you what I am and who I do and my little story and all of that. See how clear that is? Now, what if instead I did this? Hi, everybody. Do you have friends that maybe are recovering from surgery, or maybe it's their birthday or anniversary, or even yet, have you ever done like a girls' night where you wanted to bring in a personal chef? Or have you ever thought about what if I didn't have to cook and I could just have a chef all of the time? Like, wouldn't that be super cool? Maybe I wouldn't, do you ever not want to cook anymore? And you just feel like, I don't want to cook anymore. I just want to hire a chef. Or maybe you want meals like prepped in advance. Okay. See what I'm saying? It's too much. And that confusion distracts. The same thing happens at your call to action. So at your call to action, if I were to say at the end, all right, everybody, if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to like my page and then follow me on YouTube. I would love followers on Instagram because I'm really trying to grow that. I'm also over on LinkedIn and I've got a masterclass coming up. I would love for you to join. I mean, it's going to be so good and it's totally free. And I've got a program. In fact, why don't you book a link to call? We'll set up a call and it's too much. There's something called the law of diminishing returns, which basically says when you present somebody with that many options, you will actually get less people doing it. Imagine Cheesecake Factory or Denny's or IHOP, any of those restaurants where they bring you out a menu and it's like this thick and it weighs like 10 pounds. And and you're like, okay, thank you. Can you come back in an hour? Because it's going to take me an hour to read this menu and figure out what I'm going to eat. It's too many options. Don't give your viewers too many options. Give them one. If you give them one call to action, they are more likely to do that one thing. And that's what you want them to do. Now, I know what you're thinking right now, but Jamie, I want them all to do those things. Yes, you do, but not in that single video. So you're going to mix them up. Today's video, I might have this call to action. Tomorrow's post, I might have a different call to action. Next week's video, I may point them somewhere else. You got to be strategic in what you're asking them to do, how it helps you and how it helps them. That's the magic of the call to action. If this is uncomfortable, if selling in general and promoting your stuff feels icky, one, let me help you with this. This is stuff I can help you with. But two, here's an easy way to start. Start instead with helping them apply what it is that they've learned. So instead of having a call to action that says, book this, click on this, give me your money, instead have a call to action that says, here's what I want you to do as a result of being on the call today. As a result of watching this video, I would love to know what you're going to do. There's your call to action. Keep it super, super simple. Okay? All right. Any questions about calls to actions? Calls to action, calls to action, calls to actions. I don't know. CTAs. There. Then I don't have to worry about where the S goes. CTAs. If you have questions, whether you're watching this live or watching on the replay, comment and I will happily help you. If you've got questions and you'd rather not put it there and you want to ask me here, that's awesome. Okay. Have you had any ahas today? I just want to, I want to put a couple of these up here. Okay, here, hold on. Hold on. Where'd it go? Thank you for the encore. It's nice to hear it again so it sinks in fully. Yeah, sometimes we have to hear it multiple times for it to sink in. What I would tell you, I think Christy had to go, but I would tell all of you, this is true of anytime you're learning something new. Sometimes you have to hear it multiple times. It's kind of like a recipe. The first time you don't look at that recipe card once and then you're like, oh, I got it. No, you got to look at it 100 times while you're making it the first time. But by the 10th time you've made it, you're like, I don't even know, recipe card. I got this. I'm now inserting my own little spices and doing my own thing. The more often you do it, the more often you practice, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you understand, the easier this whole thing gets. Okay. Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay. There have been comments and I don't even know what we were talking about. So I'm not even going to pull them up there here. Okay. Dawn's aha is starting videos with a question and not hi, everybody. Yeah. You're going to wait until you see the difference. I will tell you, Dawn and everybody else, that first time feels awkward because it doesn't feel natural to you. It doesn't feel natural to be like, not say hi. So if you need the hi, that's great. Just don't overdo that. There's power in just going right to the question. The other thing that I often hear, Dawn, your question makes me think of this is, I see people do videos and they'll be like, okay, I got a question for you. Just ask the question. You don't need to tell them you're going to ask a question. Now, if your intent is because you want them to answer the question, well, that's different. That's different. That's easier to say, all right, everybody, get your fingers ready because I want to see your answers to this question. That's different than, hey, I got a question for you. That's just filler. You don't need filler. If you're going to use something like that, be intentional with it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Dawn's right. When you've done it a certain way for so long, it's hard to break that habit. And but once you break the habit, it's almost like I'm going off on a totally different storyline here. What comes to me as I think about somebody like Tiger Woods or a professional athlete, and they are excellent at what they do, but they want to get better. They want to go to the next level, and their coach, their swing coach, is it a swing coach? I don't know. I'm not a golfer. Or their shooting free throw coach, whatever it is, says, hey, you know what? We need to change up your form. And oh my gosh, is that awkward because they've been doing it the same way forever. And at first, you might get worse because it's new and you haven't done it and it's awkward and it's uncomfortable. But those professional athletes know that by correcting this, once they can get past that awkward, they're going to soar and they're going to be better at it because of that change in form. Same thing goes with your videos. Okay. All right. I would love if you got value out of this session. Don't forget, I would love to know what you think of this all-in-one live stream here. But what you've learned today is hook, story, call to action, right? The hook grabs your attention, gets your viewers to want to watch. The story engages them and keeps them watching. The story helps them learn a lesson that ties into your business and how you help them. You got them saying yes, 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 all the way through. And then your call to action is what drives them to do whatever is next in the journey that you've mapped out to them. This 3-step model, if you will, works wonderfully for short lives. So I'm going to go live on my phone. I'm going to talk for 5 or 10 minutes. This is all you will ever need. Okay, if you're doing reels and stories, this may probably work for you. But if you're wanting to go into longer lives, then you're going to need the rest of the framework. And that is what you can get when you work with me. We got lots of different options. You've heard me talk about the Go Live League membership. If you've been around the last week or two, you've heard me talk about the new, it's not new, it's the next cohort of Shine on Camera. Those are both alternative ways of learning the rest of the framework. And I had somebody ask me, what's the difference between the membership and the group program, and how do I determine which is right for me? The best thing that I can say to describe that is, how do you best learn? If you are like, I do it myself, I want to just watch my videos and know that I can get on a call and ask my questions, and that works for you, then the Go Live League membership is awesome. It's awesome. If you are somebody that thinks, no, I need some accountability, I need a process, I need Jamie, I need somebody that coaches me and gives me feedback, that holds my feet to the fire and make sure that I'm doing this stuff. If you're wanting it to be, I want to get all of it within a short period of time, then the group program is better for you. But I want you to consider what works best for you. There's also a price point difference. You're paying more for access to me in the group program versus the membership. So I will make sure you have links to both today and in the coming weeks, so you can decide which is best for you. But here's what I will tell you. The results that you're going to get with video are staggering. And I've been sharing a couple of the wins, and I'm going to keep sharing these wins. One, because I'm proud of you guys for the results that you're getting, but it also helps everybody else see the difference. And I know I saw Sherry on, I don't know if Sherry's still on, so I'm going to brag on her for a second. She messaged me this morning. It's the first of the month. She's been in my Shine program. It's the first of the month. And so one of the things that she learned is to measure her engagement at the first of the month. So prior to being in the program, she was at 0% engagement in her Facebook group. And maybe it wasn't 0, but it was pretty much crickets. I think that's fair to say. She measured today. I think Sherry's now been in with Shine. We're almost wrapping up. So she's at the tail end. So it's been probably a couple months. But she measured today 1,900% engagement. 1,900% engagement. Average is 20. So big shout out to Sherry. And you know what made the difference? Going live, doing videos. That's what your people want. That is the power of video. That's the difference it can make. So I want a huge shout out to Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. You're so awesome. Sherry's in the membership and she's been in the Shine group. So she did both. Dawn is ready to get some staggering results. Yesterday or whatever day it was, I talked about Billy and Kim, both Kims, both having huge results off of one video. That's the power. That's the awesomeness. And it's almost like you now know what's possible, right? You got a little taste of it today. You know what's possible. You can get these results. You just need to learn how. That's all it is. I think so often, when we're going to learn something new, I'll tell on myself here. I tried once to learn how to knit, and that was a whole mess of a thing. And then recently I heard about this thing called finger knitting, and I'm like, that's where I need to start. I need to start with finger knitting because I can't get the tool. And I bought yarn. It's sitting right there. In fact, one of my lives over the last week or so, I don't know how, but Otis got up there, got the basket, and was running around my office, unspooling my yarn all over. While I'm live, I can't do anything. But that yarn is still sitting there because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do it. So what am I waiting for? I need a video. I need somebody to teach me how to do this. Your people are the same way. They need a teacher. And what we want as humans in this day and age, we want a video. We don't want to read an instruction sheet. Just show me a video. It's like when you get a package that requires assembly. You don't want to read the 72-page document that's written in a foreign language. You want a QR code that takes you a video that shows you how to do it. And so when we think about that for a hobby, we think, well, yeah, I need to learn. I need a video. It's going to teach me how to do that. But then when it comes to something like video, because it's in your business, it's like we just expect that we should just know how to do this. Like we're all some sort of phenom or something. You got to learn just like everybody else. This is learned behavior. You can learn to do all of the things that I talked about today and everything else. You can learn to be more charismatic on camera. You can learn to be compelling and captivating. And that you put in that work, I'll teach you. You got to put in the work. You got to practice. But I promise you the results are there. The results are there. All right, everybody. I don't know why it still says hook on the screen. It really should say something else at this point. What should it say? How about this? Here's your homework. I want you to go live and I want you to apply what you've learned. That's what I want you to do, because we can consume content and we can learn, but if we don't actually go and do it, we aren't going to get the results. So I want you to practice what you've learned. And once you've practiced, let me know how it goes. If you are ready to do something else with me, whether it is the membership or the Shine on Camera group program, I'll be here. I'll happily send you links. I'll happily answer questions, but that is your next step. Practice this, get some amazing results, and go, what would it be like if I got more? If I learned more? If I actually got serious and took the time to figure out how to do this video thing, what results am I going to get in my business? That's what we're talking about. That's what's possible. All right. So thank you for being here today. Sorry we went a little bit longer than what I had planned. I appreciate those of you that stuck around till the end. If you need me, you know where to find me, but I will close with this thought. Video can be a game changer in your business. I've experienced it. My clients have experienced it. And yeah, it takes a little bit of an investment to get there. Investment of your time and investment of your money, but you will soar. You will shine on camera and you will soar. I have no doubt about it. Zero doubts. I know you can get there. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. See you later.